Welcome to Ken O'Connor Racing. Today what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do a very popular modification on the Yamaha Blaster 200. That's going to be to put a 400 EX shock on the back. There's a couple of problems when we do this. Number one, the shock doesn't fit. The bolts are a different size. The 400 EX shock is thinner, allowing it to move back and forth. The bushings, if you're interested, are available through my website, Ken O'Connor Racing. Just give us a call if you need them. Let's get started. This is our sacrificial frame. We do a lot of our designing with this frame. It's a piece of junk. It's cracked here, it's cracked in the back, but it's, for our purposes, it works perfect. This is the stock bolt inside the Blaster with a stock shock for the Blaster. Notice there's no up and down play, there's no side to side play. That's what we're going to do with the 400 EX. Alright, this is a 400 EX shock that we got from good old eBay. I think I paid $15 for this. It's been tested. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to work fine. One of the problems, when we put it in here, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to go this way. The other problem is, here's our original bolt, which fits through the frame perfectly, but does not go through the 400 EX shock. So we're going to get a set of bushings. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take this shock, we're going to clean it up. I'll explain to you how the compression and the rebound works, how it's adjusted here for your preload, and we'll get it cleaned up, and I'll be back in a minute. Part of doing any modification on your quad is not just to follow fads, to actually know what this stuff is doing, why you're buying it, and what makes it better. So a lot of things make this shock much better than a Blaster shock. Blaster shocks, the only adjustment is here, which would be your preload. Big fat guys, you're going to move it up. Little light kids, you're going to move it down. We actually have a measurement that we use when you're sitting on the quad. Race sag, I want it to sag so much. So that's basically the only adjustment in this shock. And it's not, to the best of my knowledge, I could be wrong, it's not a rebuildable shock. The 400 EX shock is a little bit longer, as you can see right here. And it's adjustable. The top adjustment is right here. It's a screw, just rotates. Don't force these. If it stops, that's it. Don't try and take them out. The top adjustment is a compression. As you turn this screw in, the compression becomes slower or stiffer. That means as a shock's compressed, it's going to do it slower. The bottom adjustment is the rebound adjustment. Same procedure for this. As you turn it in, your rebound becomes slower. It's going to stop with some of the kick that you'll experience going off of jumps. There's preference to this. I usually set both of them dead in the middle. Make adjustments from there depending on what the rider weighs, what kind of terrain. The other adjustment is a preload adjustment here, same as the Blaster. And again, what I like to do is with a rider sitting on the machine, I set this from it's free level. Then the rider sits on it. I want to measure it and let that compress 2 to 2.5 inches, and that's basically the biggest difference between the two shocks. Okay, we took our next step here. I used the stock Yamaha bolt. You don't have to do that, and with the kits we just provide you with a 10mm bolt. Today our local auto parts store was closed, so I'm kind of in a bit of a bind. They just took the stock Yamaha bolt, which is a lot bigger in diameter here, and we turned this down on our lathe to 10mm. It's actually a little bit better way of doing it than buying a bolt. The reason I like this, sometimes when you get the bolts at the hardware store, the threads are a little bit longer than this. And when you push this through this bearing, we were able to make it exact, right to the perfect fit. It's a little bit better to use the Yamaha bolt, but a 10mm bolt will work fine. So when we're at this stage, the bolt slides right through the shock. We've got our length. Here's the problem. Up and down. By making it smaller, we have the stock Yamaha mounts were larger, so by making it smaller, now we've developed play here, but we do have the shock able to be mounted to the bike. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the bushings in here. Alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to open this hole up. The hole here is actually too small to work with the pin for the Blaster. The size that you need to open this up to is 12mm. That's 472, I believe. Drills are readily available again through MSC. We buy a lot of stuff. MSC catalogs are easy. You can get them right online. They're free. But a 12mm drill is what you need. You can do this with a hand drill. We're using our Bridgeport for this because we have one. I realize a lot of people don't. A hand drill is almost better for this. It's going to follow the hole. We've already gone ahead and set this up, leveled it here, indicated the hole, threw our drill chuck in. So now we're just going to punch a 12mm hole right through this, both sides at the same time. Easy as that. Make sure if you're doing any kind of drilling or machining operation, you always wear safety glasses. Okay, the last prep we're going to do with our new 400EX shock is we're going to go ahead and grease this bushing. I don't know where this came from, but probably a good call. There's not a whole lot in there. Also, you want to inspect this bushing. Look for gall marks. This looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and use it. Use waterproof grease. Just take it, get a little on your finger, stick it right into the bearing. Push it into the rollers. That's it. Clean up the mess and we're ready to put it in. Alright, we've gone ahead and we've greased our bushing. These are the bushings for the transition to the 400 shock. Also a little bit of grease in here, a little in here, a little bit on your bolt, and we're going to use the stock Yamaha nut. Alright, now that we've made the bushings, you just slide them into the frame. Grab our shock. All you guys out there with welders, you can MIG it. It's a good idea, won't hurt anything. Tack it right on the inside. The shock has to have play. This is inherent of this shock. That bushing on the inside is what's allowing it to move back and forth. The swing arm obviously is not on this bike. For this exercise, we're not going to go any farther than this. Basically, you've already drilled this. A bike with a swing arm on it, no modification to the swing arm. Take your stock pin, throw it right back in, put a cotter pin back on it with the washer, and you're set to go. Alright, we'd like to thank you for watching. We hope you learned something. On a scale of 1 to 10, this modification, I consider it a 2. Very easy, as long as you have the equipment. If you don't have Bridgeports, lathes, it's going to be a difficult modification. Everybody knows a machinist. If you got a machinist that'll do it for you, God bless you. If we can help you, these parts are available. We sell them for $29, free shipping. You get the bushings, the bolt, and the 12mm drill. Just check my website out, KenO'ConnorRacing.com, and thanks again for watching.